Hello everyone, welcome back to Get into Solo Lane. This is episode 2, I'll probably do one more episode of this, but I wanted to do a couple more episodes of this because playing Get into Solo Lane is very challenging for me. He's not one of my favorite characters to play in the solo lane. He can work, as I've shown, conceptually, but you do have to play your early game very safe, as I also mentioned in the previous video. Now, something I did in the previous episode that I want to clear up really quick is, in the last episode, I did a very bold move and purchased, I think it was Steel Mail, right off the bat. That was very bold because I couldn't guarantee that my laning opponent was going to be physical. I suspected it was going to be based on the team composition, but lately I've noticed team compositions and placement of characters has gone really wild. I mean, I can't really say anything, I'm playing Geb in the solo lane, but there's been quite a really wild amount of playing characters out of role. It's very interesting. It's a very interesting time. That was the last second. A mid lane Amazon Cobb, alright. But we're fine, we're fine. Who is my laning opponent likely to be? Now, again, this is just me attempting to take a guess. I'm not necessarily going to counter build him right away. My guess would be Cook Lane, but I could be wrong. So what we're going to do is a more standard build. This is the start that you generally should be looking to go with for Geb, unless you're so supremely confident like I was last episode. You're generally going to want to not build anything other than your chosen starter item, which in this case is going to be the Warrior's Axe, of course. And we're going to get our good old Shockwave, we're going to get Hog, we're going to get Chalice of Healing. That is all we're going to get. Now, it will go for Shield of Thorns, what the heck. And then we're going to pop on over to the mana buff. So this is the more normal start because you'll be able to see who your laning opponent is. Hopefully at least clear wave fast enough, and then back, grab an item, come back. The trick with Geb, though, is because we don't build teleport on him because of his role, what we're really looking to do is actually just stick around until we hit level 2. And then we can go back. Going back before you hit level 2 is really not a good idea with Geb. Let's put this down here and we'll be able to see what the laning opponent is. This is also very useful. This is a habit I picked up last season when the meta was for junglers to stick around in solo lane. Sometimes they would, sometimes they wouldn't, but it was briefly one of the main metas, and then after that meta faded, some junglers still chose to stick around in the solo lane and fight a little bit there. So it became very important for solos in general to put down a ward there so they could see what the enemy jungler's decision was on whether or not they were going to stick around. Now let's see. They haven't triggered they did trigger the word Cook Lane. Alright. So we're going to play this pretty conservatively here. We don't want to cause too much trouble here. Oh, he's already trying to box me. That's unfortunate. So what we're going to do is just fall back here because we don't want to box him right now. That's why we don't want to box him right now. We did hit level 2, so that's really good. Just going to play this really nice and safe here. He's very aggressive with this. He's going to go for the poking right now, and I don't really want to contest him. Given he's transformed, we're just going to get some poke there. That's fine. We're actually going to back this up. Let the minions in, because there's not really much I can do about that. Pop this. There we go. And we're going to do a nice preemptive shield here so we can take a little less damage here. Oh, he's going for the major poke. He's going pretty hard on this. Just go ahead and do that. We're going to just back up. We're going to let the minions in. We're going to save up our shield. I think he's going to... No, he's not going to die for us. Okay.
If only they accepted us, we could have saved them.
After this wave, we're going to go back. Yeah, we're going to go back at this point. No, actually, we'll stay around for this wave here. Is he gonna dive? He's not gonna dive. Okay. Alright. Right now, we're still getting our experience, which is all we minimally need. Okay, now we're gonna grab this. These. And then we're gonna rush on over to the mana buff. Nemesis will be meeting us there, which is exactly what we want.
Has been slain.
Okay, good. She has at least successfully defended that. Looks like we might have the opportunity for a kill here. Oh, he blinked out. Okay. Well, at the very least, we got Blink. We forced him back, which is going to give me an opportunity to catch up to him in terms of gold, which is really the only area I'm going to be behind him on, is gold, if you'll look. Because the tower took some of my gold. It took about 50% of each minion it hits. So he's going to have gone back. Or not, actually.
They sacrificed their whole self for us.
I probably didn't necessarily need to use Thorns there. I think retrospectively that was a bit of a mistake, but that's okay. Are you absolutely insane? Oh, no. Dodgy. Oh, wait, we have Nemesis here. Never mind. Alright, I'm not really sure how this is going to work out for me.
That can stop us.
Oh! Can I get you? No, but I can wear you down. Nemesis will be able to do something with you, hopefully. Maybe. Not really sure. We're just going to go ahead and take this really casual. Did Glenn even die? He did die, okay. We're just going to play this nice and casual. We use a single shockwave here to help clear the wave, because this is a bit of a stacked wave here. And that's good, that's good. Now we're going to pop back here. Actually, what I want to do, for some more experience to make sure I don't waste my health chalice here, go on to this guy here. Get rid of you quicker. Thank you. Okay, Cookalane's back. Fair enough. We're almost at... No, we're not anywhere near. Never mind. Let him clear the wave. That's alright. And then we're going to go in. We're going to gather up all these minions. Splat. I don't actually know where he went, which is fairly curious, but... Oh, he's going for the... That's fine. If that means I get the wave without losing any gold, I'll let him have it. I don't care. Now, the only reason I'm really willing to contest right now is notice Nemesis is right there. Please come help. Yes, she is coming to help. Good. Ah, shoot. I got a little bit too aggressive for how little ward coverage I had. That one's on me. That was a mistake on my part. I should have had wards there. I had wards purchased, but I just didn't get around to actually putting them down. So that's 100% on me. But now I have Mystical Mail, which is going to be a huge help. Even though he's about a level ahead of me and probably half an item ahead of me, if I had to take a guess, I should be able to still contest him at this particular point in time. Now that I have Mystical Mail. This is quite the huge benefit here. They just stole my mana. I'm faster than him, though.
Such potential wasted.
And mine. He may have gotten my mana, but ultimately, in the end, I win. Did he actually take that, or... Okay, he did take that. That's fine. I'm going to clear this wave. Now I'm going to go check his mana buff, and I'm going to put down a ward while I'm over here. I'll put down this short-lived ward first. Okay, his mana buff is up, which is huge. Okay, she did steal that. That's a bit unfortunate, but not really anything I can do about that. I'll just go ahead and clear this wave. There we go. I might as well clear this. I don't need to necessarily use mana on this, so this is fine. There he is. Alright, now that I've got his minion's attention, he's not even remotely concerned about me, which is fine.
One less opponent that can stop us.
Alright. Yeah, that's fine. I don't really care at this point. I do want to take this a little bit cautiously here at this particular point in time. Because I am not exactly full up on mana, and he knows it. Okay, good. I managed to attract the attention of most of his minions. This is just really him just trying to poke me out and really not being able to succeed at it because I have my shield, of course. Now, I'm going back at this specific time because first off, I can grab Silver Breastplate, which is huge. Second off, I'll be rolling into my mana buff at approximately the time it's coming up. Well, I'm a little late. But I just now, fortunately, I can see that he's not on my mana buff. And now he's going to go for it. It's taking too long. Nope, he's not on it.
An ally has been slain.
Interesting attempt. He used his ult for that. That's also his blink. Hi. Nah, it's not worth it. It's just not worth it. Also, I'm expecting Daji to be around here somewhere soon. Oh, okay. Where is Daji? Doesn't matter. I need to go slap Coquelin over here. Peekaboo.
They sacrificed their whole self
Nope.
for us.
I don't live through this. I should have just tried to go take... I didn't know Daji was that close to death. I should have tried to just take her with me. If I'd realized that, that would have been a totally different story. It's going to put him about half a level ahead. He's got 300 gold more, so he's got about, what, a third of an item, maybe? Less, probably? Is it a huge, crippling setback? No. This is not. He's going to take my tower, but this is going to free me up to be able to rotate to mid if I really want to. It's interesting where taking the enemy tower in solo lane is not always necessarily the advisable move. Yes, to some extent it frees you up, but more often it just frees up your opponent to rotate freely. I'm not going to make it there in time either way. I just want to clear the wave. But now I can apply pressure to his lane a bit more than he can mine because he's got this front tower to lose if he doesn't pay attention, which obviously at this point doesn't matter a huge amount because he's just stolen my tower. So that really doesn't make a huge difference, but if he's one of those people that really attaches their pride to their lane, like they're one of those people who says, well, I won my lane, then he's going to be concerned about that, and I can actually force him out of or away from fights that he normally would want to be in because he's busy defending his lane. So it really depends on what kind of player he is individually, is where that's really going to come down to brass tacks there.
Their
Really?
rampage won't cease.
I know what you're trying to do. And you failed.
An enemy has been slain.
Huh. Now, see, at this point, I don't know where Daji is, so I don't want to press that too hard. But I can take out this wave. I see him going over for that. Why do you have, of all things... I suppose it makes sense. But they're all coming over here. Oh, he made it out? Impressive. Very nice. Oh, holy cow.
011-1000.
No! I needed to hit that. If I'd hit that... what is that called again? Shockwave. It is Shockwave. If I'd hit that Shockwave, I would have made it out alive. I need Breastplate of Valor. Now I need Voidstone. Oh, that was so close.
We could have saved
Will they be able to salvage this fight? I'm surprised the AMC lasted as long as he did. I was honestly expecting him to die earlier in that fight. If I'd known he was going to survive that long, I would have gone in earlier, personally. But hindsight is 20/20. Not a bad fight for us. If I had just been able to hit that shockwave, I would have been able to live, I think. Or at the very least... Oh, well, Daji still died, but I would have probably lived if I'd been able to hit that shockwave. She played that pretty well, the Daji. She was able to slip around behind me. I'm not quite sure how she managed that. It might have been the angle that she attacked me from. I'm not 100% sure. Either way, it's not a huge deal. I can go ahead and take my mono buff in peace, because Quick Lane's not going to be over here trying to take this right now. And then I can clear the wave. There he is there. I'm actually ahead of him in terms of experience, which is fairly interesting. What can I do over here? Alright. So now I've just distracted him a little bit with that. Where's Daji in mid? There's a wave going under tower. So he doesn't care. Okay. Alright, well there's nothing happening right now, so I'll probably clear this next wave. Maybe take the Scorpion. There he is. Alright. Not sure what Daji's thinking here. Come back here. Now you're untransformed and you don't have that much going for you right now. I somehow... That was very odd. Alright, well, we'll just disengage then. Oh, hello. Okay. Interesting. That was a fairly bold move, I must confess. They are really concerned about me. Although, to be completely honest, at this point, he really can't kill me by himself. He is going to start losing these fights at this point. I want to put down this. I don't know what happened to Cook Lane, honestly. Which mildly concerns me. Yeah, we'll clear this wave and then go for my mana buff. There we go. Excellent. Got to stay ahead of him. Alright, now we're going to take this.
An ally has been slain.
Alright. Now, I'm not looking for another fight with him because I don't have enough health for that. Also, I want to finish up Voidstone, which will really help me in the next team fight bash that we have. And I want to buy... I don't have enough for that, so we're going to just pass right over that, and we're going to grab Blink. Okay. We'll temporarily return to right lane, just because there's nothing going on right now that's of particular note. We don't have enough people up to take the Gold Fury, because Rom died, which is, you know, fine. There's just really nothing we really need to do over there. He's getting physical protections now, which is a little odd, but okay. Yeah, I see, he won't even fight me anymore. Hello. It's free real estate.
An enemy has been slain.
Perfect. I have no idea where Cook Lane went, and there's no reason for me to be in mid right now. They really don't need me against Ymir, I imagine. Alright, now that that's been thrown out there, let's see what's popping in mid. Yeah, now we're going to go to mid. Now I want to hit mid. No, Cabrakan was able to back out, so we're just going to go ahead and take his Harpy here. It doesn't look like his mana buff is up. What is your plan here? What are you hoping to accomplish, Shimmer? I don't think you're hoping to accomplish anything. I have no idea what that was about. That was weird. Take the Scorpion. Keep an eye on what Nemesis is doing. They just took mid, which is good. There's Cook Lane. Not really sure what he's looking for, but okay. I'm going to make an assumption here. I'm going to assume Cook Lane's on his way to mid. Yeah, there he is. Let's pop on over here.
They sacrificed their whole self for us. Double bite deletion. Exceptional.
Okay.
An ally has been slain.
Shoot. Charybdis does too much damage.
Nations.
I'm guessing it was mostly Charybdis. Yeah. There's a lot of Charybdis going on there. He's stoically shooting his little brains out. Okay. Now let me see. Yeah, we're going to go ahead and go for, I think, a really nice Mantle of Discord here. It'll make sense late game. This has been the most interesting chase I've ever seen of Hunters. I'm not sure why he bothered trying to box her at that point when he is 3 levels down. She had the Aussie proc. Him going into that Aussie proc was a mistake. I'm not sure if he realized her Aussie proc, but it had, and he really didn't need to be there at that time. Maybe he could have won that if Aussie hadn't procced for her. I've said that too much, I'm sorry. That's interesting. That's pretty good luck on her part. I can take this tower really quick. I probably don't even need minions, to be completely honest. And then... you know what? We're just going to go for it. Just like this. I activated my shield a little too early there, but that's fine. I'll go ahead and activate this Healing Chalice, just for kicks. Okay, that's not there. Oh, I see where the fight is going to happen. Alright. Hold on, let me actually really quickly throw this down. Alright. I see Charybdis just used her ult. At least I'm pretty sure she did.
Such potential wasted. One less opponent that can stop us.
Nope, not today, Charybdis. Fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, shame on you. Get out of here, punk. You don't know what you're doing. I whiffed that completely. Not that it matters a great deal because he timed that completely wrong, but that's fine. That didn't quite go out the way it was supposed to, and also my allies are leaving, so it's kind of whatever at this point anyways. What I am going to do, since Charybdis is dead, and I don't think anyone else on the enemy team is paying attention, is go ahead and take this really quickly, ideally. Easy. And I'm out of here. Alright. I don't think I do have enough. Alright, can I slap my boy here, though, really quick? No, that was excellently timed, to be completely honest. I'll go ahead and take these out. And go and grab my mana buff, I think. Would probably be my best option here. There we go. I'm not quite as ready for a fight right now as I'd like to be. Don't actually go for the fire giant, please. We are by no means ready for that. Now, the only reason I backed there after taking my mana buff is because we have the pyromancer, so I knew I would get the speed buff here. So so I can arrive on scene, ideally in time.
Threat eliminated. If only they accepted us, we could have saved. They sacrificed their whole self for us.
You running away?
Enemy has been
Yeah, she's
slain.
running away. Holy cow. She's absolutely slapping me. It's the Tribus that's the problem here.
An ally has been slain.
Okay, time to go. I can't kill Tribus. I can't even fight against Tribus. And it's not her crits, it's just the sheer rate of fire there. They're not seriously going for this, are they? They are, alright.
Exceptional.
Ah, so close. I almost got him killed. Ah, so close. Oh, I did get him killed. Excellent, excellent. I can't believe they tried that with that little health. Knowing I was there? Come on. That was absolutely shameless. I'm feeling Soul Reaver. I really like Soul Reaver on Geb because it really combines well with the wide reach of his Shockwave. It combines really well with the already percentage of health damage on his ult. It's just a really nice item in general. Now, I do want to take a moment to explain why I chose Mantle Discord specifically over, say, regular magic protection. First off, against with the enemy team comp the way it is, Ymir doesn't have any penetration, so it's not like I really need to deal, have a ton of penetration. Obviously, Thoth has some penetration and he's got his passive, but he's the only real significant source of magic damage on the enemy team, so if he dies, I don't need to really worry about it. So as long as Thoth dies sometime quick, I'm golden, pretty much. So that's really what we're talking about there. Another reason also is when I upgrade my axe to the Sundering Axe, that's going to start doing damage based on a percentage of my protections. And you don't get any higher protections than from Mantle of Discord, which gives you 120 total, which is a pretty good amount of protections. So that's ultimately why we're going with that there. Alright, so her ult does nothing to me. It's all in her auto attacks that damages me. Interesting. I actually want... That was actually good for me. I didn't realize I'd been chained, to be completely honest. There we go. Shoot. Alright. What the heck? Oh. Hey, son. There we go. I gotta get out of here. There we go. Perfect. We can take this. We can take this. Exactly what I'm talking about. Do we take... Okay. I was getting a little greedy there, honestly, yeah. Alright, Ymir just came up. Oh. Goldsphere is better choice. The AMC is really moving there. I need some help for this. I cannot take this alone. But with Nemesis, I can. She slaps pretty hard. Yeah, she's dealing huge amounts of damage. Alright. Absolutely fantastic. Give me that Sundering Axe. Wait a couple of seconds for Soul Reaver, and we've got a nice complete build. Boom. Excellent. Alright, I love it when a plan comes together. AMC is a little bit exposed. I'm going to come over here really quick. Now that I've bounced out the towers, I do want to at least dedicate a little bit of time. I just want to clear a single wave here, so that way it's not quite as dangerously... The wave isn't forming up dangerously close to my tower. Also, I want to grab my mana buff while I'm here, so I'm effectively pulling double duty here. They're going for Pyro. They shouldn't really need my help for that. I see Kakling going there. I just want to grab this. Okay, they still got the Pyroman, so that's good. Excellent. Better hurry up and get there. There's Kakling in the back. Who else is back there? Thoth is dead, which is huge for me. Boop.
An enemy has been slain.
Oh, that's a shame. She's trying to split push is what Charybdis is doing. Alright. Peekaboo. Back out of that for a second. There we go. I'm not sure we necessarily have what I need here for this. Shoot. Okay, there we go. Nice. I wasn't 100% confident we were going to be able to take that without Nemesis, but it turned out to work out okay. Mostly because, again, Thoth was gone. So, I didn't talk a whole lot about specifically Geb. I was talking a bit more about... Well, I was talking a bit about some specific contexts for Geb. But the really nice thing about this build, and I want to talk about the build a little bit more here in the specifics. We might be stuck on the victory screen for a while here, so... I'll just go ahead and talk about my build, but the interesting thing about Geb is that building full damage on him never works. I've tried it before in the past, because his shield doesn't pull from power. At least not that I can remember. If they adjusted it, if they buffed it to pull from power, that's a different story altogether, but to my recollection, no. But the shield doesn't pull from power. Yes, the shockwave does, and yes, the... barrel roll does, but the problem with trying to build power in order to boost those specifically is that their damage is a little bit inconsistent. The longer you're rolling, the more damage you do, and the closer you are to the enemy, the more damage you do with a shockwave. So it's really tough to build damage on Geb and have it really work out. This is generally why I go for percentage of health items rather than the typical power boosts that you would normally see. Now, I actually want to talk about my thought process behind my items. I explained it to some extent while I was playing. And no kidding. Well, that's just going to be stuck, but it doesn't really make a difference. Anyways, back to the main point. Yeah, what I'm talking about here is, so, obviously the axe first, the warrior's axe. Now, the warrior's axe, I exclusively build on Geb in solo. If I'm playing Geb in solo, I'm building that warrior's axe. Because late game I want the Sundering Axe. I'll come back to the Sundering Axe later. But you want that for the sustain, you want that little bit of protections, you want that little bit of power. It's a nice starting item for Geb. The next thing you usually will want, if you're facing off against a physical opponent, you're going to want Mystical Mail. Now, you saw in both this and the previous episode why you want this, obviously. It's great for AoE damage, you know, for clearing the wave. It's a consistent amount of damage, unlike the inconsistency of your first two abilities, so that's really nice. You have a slow and the pop-up, which allows you to really stick to enemies very well, especially since the roll, if you use it close enough to... If you use it close enough to them, it slows them down, and that means you get to stick to them for the Mystical Mail for even longer, which makes Mystical Mail even more effective on Geb than a lot of other people. So that's really nice. And, oh, here we go. Do we actually go somewhere? Or are we just going to have a complete game crash and you're just, no, here we go. Hi, there, yes. We're still having an issue, clearly, but that's fine. We can just run this while I'm continuing to talk. So, yeah. There is this absolutely fantastic ability to stick close to enemies with Mystical Mail using Geb. It's fantastic. The second item I bought was Breastplate of Valor, and the specific reason for that was the physical protections to counter Cuchulainn, and the cooldowns. Now, I'm assuming you know this, but just to make sure that we're all on the same page, Geb's autos are trash. It's just a fact of Geb. His entire utility, the entire point of him is purely abilities. From his shield to his damage to his crowd control, it is 100% his abilities, which is, normal, but his auto attacks don't do anything. Some Guardians have auto attacks that do stuff like Ymir. Geb's not got any of that. So you really don't want to be auto-attacking too often. You basically are just auto-attacking to fill in the time until you are all set with, just... I just had a brain fart. Until you're all set with, to reset my brain, Breastplate of Valor's cooldown is really what you want there. That 20% cooldown, the physical protections, those are what you're really looking for there, and I needed that for that reason. I'll discuss the counterbalance with a magic opponent in a bit. Actually, no, we can address it now. If you are starting off against a magic opponent in lane, you're still looking for Warrior's Axe, but instead, instead of going for Mystical Mail as your first item if your opponent is magical, you have a choice, and this is something you'll have to experiment around with. If your opponent is magical, you either go straight to Voidstone as quickly as possible, so you can get some power, you can get some magic protections, and you can reduce their magic protections as well, which is really nice, or you go into Stone of Binding. This comes down to a personal preference of yours. I personally prefer Voidstone. If I'm up against a magic opponent in solo lane, I'm usually going to go into Voidstone, because Stone of Binding is something I'll eventually want to sell, and even though it is very nice, it does provide you with physical and magic protections, which helps against the minions as well. It does reduce enemies' protections by 10. It has a bit of power attached to it. It's a nice little item, but the fact that I have to sell it late game, and I'm playing essentially a conservative, a defensive solo laner in Geb, Guardians usually play a bit safer, that's a bit of a risk, because you build this early game item and you're fine there, but then late game rolls around, and are you really being able to keep up because you're using this slightly weaker item of Stone of Binding? So I just usually go into Voidstone, which is generally what you want to do anyways, because they're probably building magic protections against you anyways, so there is that as well. So that's the real benefit there to that. And then your third item against a magic opponent is Genji's Guard. This pretty much fulfills a similar point of Breastplate of Valor against a physical opponent, except a little less cooldown, which is very unfortunate, but it's the same purpose. So Genji's Guard instead of Breastplate of Valor. Your last three items should be pretty normal, regardless of the team comp. For physical opponents, the fourth item I build is Voidstone, just like here, usually. I built the Mantle of Discord, again, just to reiterate, for its really high protections, which really helps out Sundering Axe when you evolve up to that. And it has 10% cooldown, so now you're running at 30%. This is important. Give me a bit on that one. And then finally, Soul Reaver, because as I stated at the end of the last game, that 2% to 9% extra damage based on the opponent's max health is a really fantastic time. Really works well with Geb's ult. Now the Sundering Axe, again, that does extra damage based on 2% of your protections, which is awesome by itself. But, to go back to the Mantle of Discord, you may have noticed during that match, I was rolling away from a dangerous situation, and I got really low on health, and Mantle of Discord's passive activated and stunned somebody, and I got to keep on rolling. This is huge. If you're trying to roll out of a situation because you're about to die, and you have Mantle of Discord, Mantle of Discord almost guarantees that roll is going to be a successful escape. Almost. It's incredibly useful when you're trying to roll out of a situation. So, keep that in mind. Mantle of Discord is very effective, and like I said, because the enemy team only had the one mage doing heavy amounts of damage, once Thoth died, I was pretty much golden. Now, if the opposing team has 3 sources of magic damage, you would build Genji's Guard here instead if you really wanted to, or instead, you drop Breastplate of Valor and you go for the the other cloak there, the one with the 240 protections, the 40 physical, 40 magic, 10% cooldown, and you get damage mitigation when you're crowd controlled. That one. I can't remember its name off the top of my head, but you could swap out that one for Breastplate of Valor instead if they have 3 magic, 2 physical. It's up to you how you want to deal with that. But, you know, Mantle of Discord is absolutely a huge boon to any Geb, and it's got, of course, the 10% cooldown. And the reason why 30% cooldown is important is because the Magic Power Potion, or the Magic Power Pot, as it's often called, decreases your cooldowns by 10%, which, if you know the maximum stat caps, the max cooldown reduction you can have is 40%. So if you had 40% before consuming a potion, you're not getting any benefit out of consuming the potion because it's still only giving you 40%. You're not going to get that 10% cooldown out of it. So usually 30% cooldown is about where I like to sit. For some characters, I'll push up to the 40. For some, I'll stick at the 20. It really depends on the context and who I'm playing. But Geb, yeah, he can swing in a pretty clean 30% regardless. So, yeah, with that being said, thank you all very much for joining me, and if you have any comments, questions, concerns, ideas, suggestions, or requests, please leave them down in the comment section below, and yeah, have a great 24 hours.